Morning all. How we doing? So I'm a bit late this morning. It's always a rush on a Thursday morning because I have a class at 6:45. I don't get back until 7:45. Then I have to leap in the shower, grab some breakfast, and try and get on before the market opens. It's always good fun, but I'm here. Not a bad day yesterday. Had some really nice finishing trades on the Nasdaq yesterday. That big push on the Nas yesterday, caught that. Whoops, what? So I caught quite. Where's my pen gone again? Pen. Oh. For some reason, this pen, like when it launches with Windows. It launches, but it's not there. It vanishes. You have to restart it. It's very annoying. Where's it gone? Close, exit, go away. Yep, you've crashed. I know you've crashed because you're not there. Morning, Gary. Morning, Diamond. Go away. Just launch. There we go. Right. So yeah, caught this big move yesterday on Nasdaq towards the end of the day. There's one of the trades, and I scaled in basically to a few positions and rode it up here. So yeah, good day all in all. I think I ended on about 2.2% or something. US dollar yen is the only trade I've got on FX at the minute, short. So I've got two positions on this one, there and there. So I added, as we got this reversal alert yesterday there, I'm added in, and it's going short. This is based on the 4-hour RSI extension. But I'm not, I'm kind of babysitting it a little bit at the moment. I'm not 100% convinced on it. Just being the yen, basically. The yen's just got nothing, is it, at the moment? Morning, Peter. Morning, Jacob. So we were nicely extended. We did get embedded, obviously. We had this initial rejection. We've basically pushed up into this previous yearly high, which is one of the reasons for this trade as well, because I think we're going to get this bounce. A little bit similar to the Swiss yen. Swiss yen, we're up at that high at the moment. Remember, I got that short on, which got stopped out, and then it decided to collapse, which is usual, which is why we don't use stops most of the time. But yeah, so that's all I've got on at the moment. No ADRs hit so far today. The Australian dollar news overnight, we didn't get any movement off of that, so it was the Aussie unemployment. So all we got was a little bit of volatility, but no directional bias. This is where we closed yesterday, and this is where we are now. So we haven't gone anywhere on the Aussies. So just a whipsaw basically on the Aussie news. Other news today, we've got the ECB rates at 12.45. So that's going to be a big one. Expected to be 0. They're going to keep it at 0, but as we saw from the New Zealand dollar, that isn't always the case, and especially at the moment, they went up by 0.25%, and there's been talk about the euro rate hikes changing almost on a daily basis. We've had some kind of news coming out of the ECB saying might do this, might do that. So there is potential for us to get maybe, I would say, 0.25% rise here. And if that is the case, that is going to make the euro fly. Direction wise, not sure. I would say down. That would be the logical thing to do on the interest rate rise, which is unexpected because the market won't have factored that in. And obviously, as you know from the euro, the market has been very happy to destroy the euro. So yeah, it's a tricky one today. If you've got any euro on, beware of it. If you haven't got any euro on, I shall certainly be looking to potentially put some euro shorts on. I'm going to see what the reaction is of the news, and if the reaction is negative, I'm probably going to add some on. We've got the ECB press conference as well then at 1:30, which coincides with retail sales for the US. So that's going to be a busy time, an hour before the open as well. So yeah, busy day. Bank holiday tomorrow. I'm not here tomorrow. Not here Monday. It's a bank holiday Monday. So this is the last day of the live rooms until Tuesday next week. Markets open. So we're going to watch the DAX. We'll have a look at the FX pairs as well when we've had a look at the open on the DAX. I have got to go this morning fairly early. I've got an electrician coming around sometime between 8:30 and 9. So as soon as he arrives, I'm going to have to disappear, I'm afraid, because he's going to turn the power off anyway, so I can't do anything. So hopefully I won't have any trades on. I'll have my Microsoft Surface, which has got... I can trade off of that anyway. So yeah, so there we go. That's me this morning. Morning, Tammy. The other thing yesterday, from a daily perspective on these indices, we had a down day, but only because of the gap up, which obviously we got the nice gap fill. I didn't look for a gap fill this morning because I wasn't there. Is there a gap fill this morning? Don't look like it really. Yeah, there's a gap fill in play, isn't there? So I'm not with it this morning. See. Yeah, there's a gap fill. Damn, missed it. Never mind. Could have played that at the open. So there was a little bit of a gap fill this morning, but it's a tiny. By the 5-minute opening candle, you only had 35 pips on it anyway. So yeah, we did have a down day yesterday, only because of that gap fill. So it was actually quite a bullish day. If you look at the others, the US stocks were all up yesterday, but that rally was the end of the day. It was an end of day rally, so they were down, but obviously went back up again. So we are stuck at the moment, really. If you look at there, we haven't moved anywhere for 5 days, so we're stuck in a range. We're just in an accumulation at the moment, waiting for the next move. So tricky calling day today again, as to what we would expect. I'm looking still bearish on all of these. I still think we're in a bear market across the board. So this is just a pullback at the moment on this bear move, I think. So I think we should be looking for shorts overall. You can see from the DAX. DAX is much more bearish. We had these lovely big down days going in after these little recoveries. And this I would class as one of those up days yesterday, really. Although it was a bear day officially, it was an up day because we had this big, strong push at the exit of the day. So I'll be looking short today. So we'll see what happens at the 5-minute open. See what we get put in. Yeah. Where's my other charts gone? Just 1 sec. Okay. US dollar CAD's pushing up at the open. Nothing much else. Pound US dollar and Euro US dollar doing very, very well. Pound and the Euro both pushing hard. Potentially that's a nice move to fade today. So the Euro, we had a lovely big bullish engulfing ahead of the rates. And we came off a double bottom. So there'll be a hell of a lot of people entering longs off the back of that. Daily, look at that. Bullish engulfing double bottom on the daily. Everyone has just gone long today. That's why that's shot up today. Quite possibly a nice fake out move that they're putting in, enticing everybody to go long, and then they're going to dump it on the rates. Come and grab everybody's liquidity under there. There's going to be a lot under there. There's also a double bottom yesterday on the hourly. So you double bottomed on the daily, and you also double bottomed on the hourly. Reversal alert. Everybody's long in that in a minute. Be very surprised if they don't come and take that out today. That'll be the play of the day. Short around the refinancing rate. Probably going to come up and double top. Anyway, we'll see what happens at that. So gaps filled. 10 seconds to the end of the 5-minute candle. Bit of a lethargic open today. Not very big. Well, it's not a bad opening range, but the follow-up after the opening candle was bleh, rubbish, isn't it? So, but all the indices opened a little bit bearish. We're just looking at support resistance, just seeing where we've got potential today for movements. We've got yesterday's low and yesterday's high. Yesterday's high was the open. Okay, got a little bit of bearish price action coming in, nothing dramatic at the minute. Morning, Stevie. Going short one on the DAX. Going to try one short. See if we just get a straight away move. We'll probably have a fairly quiet session today. This is kind of a little bit indicative of that as well. With this, we've literally had a quick dump of orders and then we haven't had any flurry. So there's been no pullbacks, nothing. Very, very quiet. Obviously, with the ECB financing rate coming out at 12.45, the market's not going to want to put a lot of positioning in this morning ahead of that, because it's going to have potentially an impact on what they do with their portfolios. So we will probably see a fair amount of ranging this morning before the rate announcement, because the euro is one of the big currencies. It's obviously one of the biggest from a liquidity perspective. And when that rate is announced, obviously positioning in portfolios is going to change depending on obviously what that is. So we may well find it's a very, very quiet session this morning ahead of that anyway. And they may also try and reach for levels, but probably did that yesterday. So we may well find this being a little bit choppy and a bit difficult to trade, but we'll see. Decent rejection to the downside on the Nasdaq. Cool, oil's come down, hasn't it? Quick pullback on oil there. Just so there's no only come down today on the 5-minute chart. That's all, not in general. Nice gap fill on oil as well. Okay, nice and quiet. Pound New Zealand, Alex. So we've got double bottom formed there. I wouldn't, if we're going to go short today, I probably won't be looking for anything lower than this. If we get down to there, I'd be very surprised if we do get down to there either, but we'll try. Hopefully. Pound New Zealand. So the pound's obviously quite strong at the minute, having a nice little recovery. We're coming up to a potential resistance. This is the last chance saloon for the pound New Zealand. This is obviously the weak New Zealand off the back of the rate announcement yesterday, but the pound was starting to recover. We got a double top put in, so there was a potential this was going to be a pullback long, but obviously the New Zealand dollar's made that decision for it, with that massive drop on the New Zealand dollar. So the New Zealand dollar is incredibly weak. Don't really want to stand in front of that at the moment. If you look at the New Zealand pairs, we are just pulling back at the moment, potentially for the next leg down. So with the pound New Zealand, you're looking at the pullback potentially for a long here, but it's very extended on the 4 hour. So right now, I would be inclined to wait for it to get up to here and then look for short opportunities. Because I don't think the pound is going to be strong long term. I don't think it's going to recover that well. But that will depend on what happens with the ECB as well, because the ECB rates are going to affect us because we do a lot of trade with Europe. So I'd be looking for a double top bounce on that one, really, to continue the next leg down, 24.72 area. And it's nice extended as well. So, but the short really was this morning on that one in the Asian session, and then look to fade it sort of back down to somewhere here, and then potentially push back up into that resistance. Doesn't look like we're going to get any movement today. We are not going anywhere. They're all scared of the ECB. We'll hold fire on that for a minute. So I've got a short on, but I don't think we're going to get anywhere. So I'm just going to leave that to run for a sec. We'll have a look at the FX pairs. So hourlies, we've got Euro Swiss. Again, this is a nice looking opportunity for today. Nicely extended on the hourly. Obviously with the euro, we are looking downtrend. Euro Swiss, we have been for a very long time. So this is pulling back into a nice area for shorts. We've got potential double top at resistance. So lovely support resistance coming up. Yeah. So very, very, very strong level. We're just approaching for a second bite of the cherry. Likely that will reject, but again, it's going to depend on rates, and I get the feeling regardless of what happens with the rates, we're going to see a drop on the euro, but we'll see. So I'd be inclined to look for short opportunities on this. Nicely extended on the hourly. The 4 hourly, we are above the 60, so in a trend pullback, the 60 area is where I like to see potential entries for the next levels of shorts. So we're spot on set up on this Euro Swiss for shorts today. Might have a look at an area to get in on that. I mean, the next reversal alert on M15 is probably a good spot. We've got the double top area coming up as well, so I might try a short on that actually. Put one down there as well. So when we get this reversal alert on M15, I'll get into an initial position, and then I'll add to the position on a break. Let me just move that down slightly. Break of that level there. So that will confirm and move to the downside, and then we'll be coming back down to retest these. By that time it'll be 150 ADR, so I'll be taking one of those off. So it looks good for a short, and again, this is all a speculative trade based on the news, so I'm looking to get gathered up when the news kicks in. If it happens before that, obviously, if they decide to start a move down before the news, then I'll be in, and I'll put a stop. In place. Oh, that was not a good stop, was it? Why are you not changing? What? It's not letting me change the stop for some reason. Oh, number lock's off, that's why. There we go. So yeah, stop above those highs. Might move it up a little bit. Give it a bit of breathing room. So that looks pretty good. Euro Swiss for short. Pound Swiss, same thing. You don't want to take both of these. They're both pretty much the same thing. Being pushed around by the Swiss franc, and the pound and the euro quite often will move in tandem, especially when they're both really weak as they are at the moment. DAX is coming down again, holding the 20 at the minute. So we've got pound Swiss, so same thing on the pound Swiss, but obviously the euro Swiss is the one to take at the moment, purely because obviously the euro news we have. Pound US dollar. Pound US dollar is a little bit extended on the hourly. We're coming up to these double top levels, so it's the pound's the same with all the pounds at the minute. Bearish on them, purely on the fact that the pound is just really, really weak off the back of the Ukrainian crisis. The banking sector's being hit. We've got massive rising inflation. It's just all doom and gloom. Not as doom and gloomy as it was and is for the euro, but it's still not looking good, the outlook for the pound. So interest rate rises, etc., etc. So looking basically at this level of support resistance, and then next level is there. So we're approaching this area which we have been continuously rejecting, and potentially then looking for a drop. So very, very nicely extended on the hourly. Yeah. So looking for some kind of drop reaction up there. How big it will be, don't know, but obviously the way it's moving at the minute, we'll look for it to continue short and potentially make a new low. So take this low out. Obviously it double bottomed and rejected this level, this 1.3. We were not interested in going below that. So could well be a pullback long, but the outlook isn't good. But then again, US dollar's not doing well either, is it? So this is what makes everything so tricky at the moment, while we've got all this accumulation of range-bound activity going on, because nothing's looking good. There's no currency out there that's looking good apart from the Aussie New Zealand, and that will change this week with the New Zealand dollar. So you know the entire economy of 90% of the countries out there is not doing well at the moment because of COVID. So it's very difficult to pick a directional bias, but for me, it would be short on that because the US dollar is more likely to power up faster than the pound will. So there's your hourlies. I'm going to reduce the risk down on this. We're making new lows, lower highs, barely. We're making new lows, barely. So if we put in a new high here, I don't really want to be in this. Because I think what we're probably going to do is just chop around like this today. So either this is going to pop down and give me, I'm probably actually just going to go for 0.5% as an out. I think that's all we're going to get today. Yeah. Put down a little bit. Other than that, I don't think we're going to get enough movement to actually make anything out of this today. It's not going anywhere, is it? Market's dead, which is nice. Euro pound. Euro pound double bottom bounce to the pip. This is the level I drew on yesterday. So yeah, looking good for a potential bounce and then drop on this one. But again, this is the weak against the weak. So there's better euro pairs out there, I think, to trade. Euro Swiss, Euro US dollar probably is the best thing at the moment, or Euro odd maybe. But Euro pound equally. The movement on this one today is going to be based on the euro, so it's either going to shoot up or shoot down because the pound at the moment is pretty neutral today. So I'd be looking for probably a drop on that if we can break that level. If we can break that level, we're coming down here. So you got 200% ADR move from the entry today. But as you can see at the moment, this thing has got no directional bias at all. Completely flat moving averages sideways. So I'm not going anywhere at all on it. But we are extended down here. But I would expect more of that sort of action. So yeah, a little bit of a pullback and then probably another drop down, but not a great entry. Pound Swiss short. So that's lovely extension. Coming up into an area of chop. So looking for short opportunities on that one. Again, we look for probably Swiss franc strength really to give that a kick, but we're not getting any of that at the moment either. Pound yen is extended. We've hit the double top. Right, okay, so pound yen we are double topping at this level. So I've been waiting for all these yen pairs to get up to these highs. So that's the first one to hit it. So I'm going to put a pending order underneath. I'm going to go with the hourly reversal. How aggressive do I want to be with this one? I'm just thinking I've got US dollar yen short on, so I'm not going to go too aggressive on it. I'm selling into support here, but I am also selling on a break of support. So these two levels here are obviously where we are likely to get a reaction, one of those. If we are going to get a reaction. If we're not going to get a reaction when we get that reversal alert, we're going to get a good move down, potentially down at least to that level, which is a good sort of 200 ADR. So that gives us plenty of time to drop. So that's kind of where I'm going to put my entry, sort of around a 163.80 level, around that high. We may well get a bounce off of it. But I'm looking basically for all these yen pairs that are now double topping to find a little bit of strength. It's a big old fade, very, very slow fade. It could well continue just to fade up like that. And if it does, it does. That's fine. I'm not going to get taken away with it. But the thing that's given me a bit of confidence is the fact that the US dollar yen has started to show a little bit more signs of strength coming through. It's still not managed to kick in, but this yen is so exhausted. It's just got to do some kind of pullback at some point, because the Bank of Japan are not just going to let that thing continue to weaken. It doesn't want to strengthen it particularly, but it can't let it continue to weaken against all other currencies at that rate. It's going to kill them. So we are going to see some strength coming through on this. It's just a case of trying to time it, and it's picking levels that make logical sense to do that. And obviously when you see double tops, that is a logical area where you would expect to find rejection. We're extended on the RSI on the daily. It's all, daily RSI extensions are brilliant. Don't get there very often though. You got to wait weeks, months, quite often to get anywhere near an RSI extension on the daily. But when you get there, you get them. And we're there for the second time as well in a couple of months. So looking good. I like the look of this one. So pound yen, nicely extended. Pound New Zealand as well. 4 hour, where this massive move up, but this is the New Zealand dollar. I'm much less inclined to take a New Zealand dollar because I have a feeling that we are going to get that sort of movement. That's nothing to do with the pound strength. That's just the weakness in the New Zealand dollar off the back of the rate increase. The rate hike wasn't factored in, so I think we've got a little bit more upward movement on this. That's where I'd like to see. Failing that, it's very difficult to pick a level in there. There's a few, but a lot of room to the upside if we break that level. So it's all going to depend on the New Zealand dollar, whether the New Zealand dollar is done. And this was the knee-jerk reaction. But I suspect we'll see things start to climb against New Zealand dollar now. So not really interested in taking that one. Pound US dollar. Very nice. Approaching resistance. Would want to see it get up towards ADR, but nothing's moving today. So we're not going anywhere today. We've done our movement, I think. You'll find we'll just accumulate ahead of ECB. Market's not interested in trading today until it knows what's happening with ECB rates. Got spooked by the New Zealand dollar. So they've seen a rate change, an unexpected rate change this week. They don't want a second one. So that's all you got on the RSIs at the minute. A few opportunities there. But as I say, I don't think you're going to get any movement, really. Gold. Oops. Click the right button. We got the breakout on gold. So we were stuck in this accumulation for 4 weeks. We finally got that test of the highs, which rejected. And it looked like basically we were just going to come back down and pull into the range. I've been looking for a long opportunity. Well, not me personally because I don't trade it, but I've been obviously discussing it in here, looking for long opportunities to get a move to the upside. We had a second attempt to break it and failed, and then we finally cracked it. Since we've cracked it, though, we haven't gone anywhere. So this is not really a strong move, and it looks to me like we're just heading back to the sort of gradual price action increase that we saw on gold pre-war rumor, war breakout. So I think we'll find probably we just start to go into a slow grind trend to the upside now. So looking for pullbacks basically into the 24, into support resistance, previous support resistance. We've got very, very, very strong support coming up here at the 1949 level, 1950. So pull back to 1950 and then bounce on gold. So short term, obviously, do what you like with gold, but I'll be looking for a pullback to 1950. So if you want to short it now, short it, and then look for longs down here. Bulls are coming in. I'm out on that DAX. Morning Rahat. DAX 4-hour downside trend line broken. Oh, I don't use trend lines. Yeah, it is, but I don't really use them. It's the old failed head and shoulders. Which turns into a range. Yeah, DAX. The gap was filled this morning on the DAX. Gap filled there. Very, very good rejection down there, but I don't really want to trade this morning because I don't think we're gonna. I think you'll probably find we're going to get up to around about here into this accumulation, and then we're just going to bounce back off of it. So really range bound today. I'd sort of trade it up to the highs. If you want to trade it, look for range bounces. But this is a 1 minute chart, yeah. So how long it's taken to get anywhere? And at any point, they could whack one of these in and just chop you out. It's just not very good trading conditions this morning. So we're hanging around until the ECB announcement at 12:45. After that, we'll get some movement. So the New York session should be pretty good because we'll have had retail sales come out in the ECB press conference where Lagarde will say why she did what she did. But yeah, I don't really see any point in trading this at the minute. Too slow. I don't really want to sit there and watch it. Nice short opportunity there. Stop up there somewhere. Don't know how far you're going to go before you get another leg though. See, price actions, an expanding wedge, which is horrible to trade because it doesn't give you any clue on where we're going. So it's one of those nasties. But it could go either way today. But I don't think you'll get anywhere until later. So, anybody got any other pairs they want to look at? US dollar yen monthly range is also done. You can tell the crickets are dead quiet this morning as well. So we're getting the odd click. There's no liquidity in the market at all. It's dead. Very quiet. Calm before the storm, I reckon. We'll see. So yeah, if nobody's got anything else to look at, I'll leave it there because it's not really tradable this morning, unless you're willing to sit through this 1 minute chop, and I just don't really want to do it. So there you go. So there's that rejection trade. You want to be in, tight stop, out, 10 pips, something like that. Just get in and out fast when you see some decent price action, but kind of ignore candlestick patterns in line with trend, because we're not going to trend today, we're going to range. So you can sort of take candlestick patterns in either direction. Pound CAD. Pound CAD's obviously down, so the pound is obviously weak at the minute. We've got a level of support that we're coming up to. Resistance that we're coming up to at the moment. It's a few levels actually. It's a bit tricky. Again, with all these pounds, it's a bit tricky to find decent levels of support and resistance. That one is good. That is the last level that we hit before we bounced, and then we rejected it slightly and then slammed through. So that is where I'd be looking, which coincides with the 24 roughly at ADR. So looking for short opportunities at some point soon. By the time we get there, we may well be extended just about on the 4 hour. But you see how slow it is. I mean, the opportunities for making money on this go back to Tuesday last week. Yeah. We haven't really gone anywhere. We've had an up day, we've had a down day. We've had an up day, we've had a down day. We've had an up day just about to the highs. This morning we might push up there, and then we'll probably come back down again. It's just a very, very, very slow trend. If you go up onto a higher time frame, it's a flag. So, short. EuroCAD will be fairly similar, yeah. This would be the one to take. I know it's not actually that similar. It's a little bit more jaggedy, the euro, because the euro's had this weird, like slightly bullish stance to it every now and again, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I'd be looking. I'll put the fib on this last move. We've hit the 38. Regardless, you want to be looking at the 24 for resistance, kind of final resistance really on the euro if it manages to get up there. But again, rate, it's all going to be down to the rates. If the rates come out as expected, we might see a rise on the euro. If they come out bigger than expected, I suspect we're going to get a dump, and that dump could be a good 2 day solid push down. DAX is pushing down now again. So yeah, I'm short, always short the euro. regardless, until we see evidence otherwise. So today, obviously, is a critical day. They are either going to increase the rates or they're not going to increase the rates today. And if they do increase the rates today, we could see the euro having a fundamental shift in one direction or the other. It's difficult to tell whether we're going to get any power coming through on the euro because it's still economically shot. And we've got now war looming. Interest rates are bad for everything. Interest rates drive up prices. They drive up cost of living. They drive up everything. It's great for people that are saving money, great for pensions, great for all that sort of stuff. No one's got any of that at the moment because everybody's skint. So it's never any good for an economy. It slows an economy down. Interest rates go up, prices go up, CPI goes up, and basically we start spending less money. So, yeah. Right, my electrician's here. So I've got to fly, guys. I'll be back on again this afternoon at 2:20. But keep your eyes peeled on the news and obviously watch for the rate announcement today. We're going to get all the movement around 12:45, 1:30. All right, have a good morning. And I will see you guys later.